Yo, welcome to the first of my Genshin Impact series where we'll be making tier lists, guides, team comps, and all sorts of fun and random educational bullcrap. I hit on this earlier. I'm going to be making more guides and team comp videos in the future, hopefully soon and regularly. A little bit about myself. I have played this game way too freaking much for my own good. I'm AR 58 right now with every character in the game except for Raiden, Shogun. There she is mocking me. Pulled for her the other day, but I got a fourth Kaching because logical, you know. Hopefully we get her soon and we can make some videos on that. Another thing is that I'm kind of a weirdo because I like to level up the character's friendships to level 10. And when I do level a character to 10, I don't use them anymore. My plan is to get them all to 10 and then I can do whatever I want. It's just a weird thing I do. So I have played and leveled a huge variety of characters at this point. Small reminder, this list is my opinion of what I enjoy, plus some community feedback and averages of what I see other people playing often and how they rank them. I will go more in depth in later videos when we do team comps and guides. This will just be a quick run through. I don't have Raiden, like I said. I do have Sara. I do like Kujou Sara. I've leveled her to 80 and I'm testing her right now. I have all her talents about level 70. She's really fun, honestly. I don't know if I'm using her right. That's just a meta thing. We don't know what we're going to be doing with her yet. Aloy, I don't have yet as well. So that's 3 videos hopefully I can make soon once I get these characters. Another thing is I'm not the most technical character like I was mentioning with Kujou Sara. I'm pretty ooga booga about this game. I like to just send out my characters, press abilities, and watch things die or see really big numbers, and I'm satisfied. On the Aloy note, I do have a family member, few family members with a PlayStation. Hopefully someone will hook it up soon, right? We'll start here. I've already made the tier list. I'm just going to explain why they are where they are, and they're ranked in a soft order from left to right, left being better than the ones to the right. Let's not forget, at the end of the day, Genshin Impact is a really easy solo player game, and all content can be cleared and beaten with anyone. You might just struggle more with some characters, and some characters just might be more annoying to use than others. That being said, we do have a D tier because some characters suck. D tier characters, in my opinion, just don't do very much, don't do high damage, don't support the team too much. They're just not very versatile. Lisa is where I'm going to start with this. I love Lisa, honestly. She's aesthetically great. Gameplay wise, not so much. She is fun. She's fun. And with shields, she can be really good. Great AoE Electro user. She's good at applying overloads. And problem is, Electro's a pretty solid element class, and she just gets outshined. Only in gameplay, alright? Only in gameplay. We simp for Lisa here on this channel, so we're only going to trash her in-game strength. Next is Amber. There's not much to say about Amber. She's really weak. She does get better at her C2, and she has a taunt with Baron Bunny, which can do pretty good damage. Still not worth it, honestly. She gets outclassed. Pyro is another one of those where there are a lot of good Pyro users. In game, she's good at lighting torches, so you could do that, right? We're gonna get to the C tier now. C tier characters are just slightly better than D tier, but they still have glaring weaknesses. My D tier is gonna start with the animal main character. She's one of my favorites, honestly, and I use her all the time early in the game last year. She has great swirl effects and does decent damage overall. She's just super outclassed in the Anemo role. She does have good CC, which unfortunately doesn't matter in Inazuma anymore, but at the end of the day, she's decent. She is free. Everyone has her. Her talents are easy to level up, and her ascension materials are also easy. Also, her constellations are free, so not a bad unit to invest in. Now, Xenian, we barely know. Besides Reddit kids going nuts, buffing the crap out of her, I don't really enjoy her too much. And MiHoYo kind of just hates her. They haven't put her in anything besides like one banner. Maybe 2, I don't know. She's cool aesthetically, and she can have strong shields. I know she can do good damage, but like I said, MiHoYo just hates her. Now the more serious characters, we're going to get into the B tier here. B tier characters are a lot stronger than C. They can do a lot more, and they just have fundamental problems. They'll still struggle in some areas. We're going to start with the Geotraveler. I don't like the Geotraveler at all. but the community and a few friends have convinced me that I have to put him or her higher than the animo version. That being said, the Geo character does have multipliers on their E and their burst. They can do good damage. They just really need someone to help them out most of the time. Someone like to help them get ult particles. They can provide cover too. They know they can blast that big old thing up and make cover. It's pretty cool. I mean, that's nifty, right? That's something. Now we got Kaya. I know some people really like Kaya, but he is the worst cryo user in the game at the end of the day. Even for free to play, because Chong Yun is free to play, right? He's good at applying cryo onto enemies for freeze and melt, but at the end of the day, he just lacks severely and he needs to be really close to enemies, so he needs a lot of support to even be viable. His abilities kind of suck is my problem with him. Next is Barbie. I actually really enjoy Barbara. She's a great healer, and at C6 in the Spiral Abyss, sometimes that instant res comes in handy. And a lot of people do have C6. Some of this tier list is based off of how easy it is to get some of these characters, how achievable it is, how easy it is to build, level, and just make them work in a team in general. Barbara is really easy to fit into just about any team and can heal, so she's very helpful. She's also really good against the Pyro Hypostasis in Inazuma, and she's free to play friendly with her weapon, one of her best weapons being the Thrilling Tales of the Dragon Slayer. So that's cool. Now Razor. How the great have fallen with Razor. Razor was actually insane back in the day. Everybody loved this dude. He did great damage, physical or electro builds. He was just all over the place back then. He got power crept extremely hard. Raiden is also better than him. At the end of the day, Razor still does what he does. He does great damage. He can be a carry with huge damage potential. He's also pretty fun to play and free to play at the end of the day. You can pair him with ice units or whatever, and he's just fun. You can pair him with Amber even, you know, if you want full free to play build, but build him with fire, build him with cryo users. He can be good. Next is Chong Yun. Chong Yun is really cool looking. He's actually the first character that I see sixth. I do enjoy how he plays, and he is good at applying cryo. It's just that cryo is such a competitive element, and he really just underperforms compared to the other ones. He's just better than Kaya. Now we're getting to the A tier. A tier characters can lead teams and really make a difference on the field, and where I'm going to have the first controversial pick, if you guys didn't already think these were. All right, we're going to start with Beidou here. I don't know why. I've never bothered to use Beidou. It's part of my problem. From what I've been told, she's an amazing unit. From what I've seen, she's really good. I get that. She can be a hard carry for the entire game. Part of the reason I think that I never used her, so my second 5-star unit was Kaching, and I got her on the first day I started playing this game. I just never bothered to use another Electro user. I'm putting her here just based on other people's word of mouth and what I've seen other people do with this character. I know she can be nutty. We got Chichi, my first 5-star. I actually think Chichi's really good. She does only 2 things though. She heals and she heals. She can apply cryo somewhat. It's just very limited. And she's also limited in energy recharge, which is not that good. If you need a healer though, she does really heal. She probably does healing better than anyone in the game. If you got her as a free-to-play player and you don't have a lot of shields or Barbara's your only healer, you wouldn't be upset. Chichi's just really good at healing. Now, Noel is another controversial one, being higher than Beidou probably. She is my favorite character in the game. I love how she can just shield and smack things, and you heal your team, and you just super ooga booga. She's also really cute. I mean, look at her. It's an added bonus, right? That gets her a point on the list. Limited a little bit by, like I said, her energy recharge, but you can run her with a lot of particle makers and or batteries as they're called, and really just buff her and help her out. Now we're getting to the more controversial parts, or A+ characters. These characters can hard carry and really be focus points on your team that you can build around. So let's get to them. First one, Yanfei. Yanfei is a character I actually really like using, and I really pulled for her. I think it took me 60 pulls to get one Yanfei though, which was unfortunate. I think she's really fun, and that Dodeko Tales that came out with Klee a few months ago is actually really good on her, and it was free. Dodeko Tales is honestly a really good catalyst their weapon for most Catalyst users. It really helps cement a lot of these mages spots on the list. As for Yanfei, she can apply great AoE pyro damage, and she has a huge damage output potential in general. At the end of the day, though, like, she's a little frail. She's just fun to use. I do enjoy her. Next on the list here is gonna be Albedo. Albedo is a really fun character to use. He's the character I like to use with Noel that I just didn't want to spoil earlier. He's a really good battery for a lot of these Geo characters. He's really good at what he does, which is being off the field. He just drops his E and leaves. That's all he does. He adds damage and he gives you, he charges your ult. That's really all you need him for. He's really good at it too. All right, next we got Deluge. This is probably one of the more controversial ones. Deluge is amazing at raw damage, and early on, he was the top tier damage dealer using the Wolf's Gravestone. He still does great damage. I just find him a little boring at this point. And he simply gets outclassed also. I honestly prefer Yanfei over him. Just after sharing my list with a few people, I've been convinced to move Yanfei down. So Deluge is super simple and easy to use. If he is your first 5-star, I would not re-roll. I think he's just solid, you know, very solid. He's like an honest character. Next on the list, we have Mona. Mona is actually the character that made me download Genshin Impact. I saw her artwork a couple days before the game released, and I was like, wow, she's really nice. You know what I mean? Like, she's nice. In all seriousness, no. She's one of the coolest looking characters, I think, and she's really good at ruining your limited banners and pissing people off, because every time you hit that pity and you think you got the character you want, it's Mona. Let's be real. Next is Xiao. Wait, just kidding. Mona is actually really good in the game. She's good at applying wet and is a good staple in melt and freeze comps. She's one of the best in freeze comps, I think, and in general, the freeze comps make the game really easy for everyone. You can freeze everybody. Nobody gonna hit you while they're frozen. She also has a really good burst damage option when you pair her with pyro characters. Honestly, that's something we'll go more in depth with. I think Mona is one of the more interesting characters in the game because of how versatile she can be. Now, Xiao. For real, let's talk about Xiao this time. Xiao is super cool, and I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot about him. He was super hyped up. Everybody talked about him. They all wanted him to come out. Now no one cares. He does great damage still and swirls. And he blows himself up during his ult. That's freaking badass. Super edgy emo character. It's a great plus. You know, we need that. He does need a lot of help to receive, like really achieve his potential. But he is really strong and he's useful at just destroying mobs. He's probably S tier, to be honest. Another thing I didn't mention was the setup, I guess. Speaking of how he needs setup for his potential, is a character like Deluge doesn't need as much setup, or you'd want to pair Xiao with the shield. Deluge really just needs his sword and a couple people to hit. That's all he really needs. Xiao, you want a shield or you want to put down a healing for him, something to help him out. Next is Youngling, the cute little girl with the bear. Great damage. She does a lot of work off the field, similar to Albedo. You just throw the bear out and you chill. She's really good, free to play, friendly. Most people have constellations of her at this point, and the constellations actually really help her. They extend her Pyronado, and I think they make the bear drop the chili pepper, which chili pepper might add 10% attack to your team. She's also really versatile because she doesn't need to be on the field. You just throw the bear out and leave. Honestly, easy to set up. She's not hard to invest in, and Pyro just has good reactions as a whole. Next, we got Rosaria. Rosaria is really fun and dark. She's great at applying cryo and doing solid physical damage. I think there's almost a tier break in A+ here. I think these two characters after Zhang Lee are better, but they're not S tier yet, so I put them in A+. These two characters are really good though. So we got Rosaria here. She does really good cryo and physical damage, and she's a little bit harder to get than Chong Yun, but she does a lot more than him, so we'll rate her higher for sure. She also can hard carry, which is super good. Another thing she does is she gives the cute librarian, Lisa, down here, which is not very good, team comp partner. They pair well together, these two, which makes Lisa feel good about herself, so that gives a point to Rosaria, I think. She's also really good to pair with Pyro users for Melt. She can run Freeze, just solid. She's versatile. She's a really good unit. If you haven't invested in Rosaria, do it. You won't regret seeing her on the computer screen all the time. Trust me. All right, next up we got Ninghuang. Ning is super strong. Huge amounts of geo damage, and she can deal with most content in the game pretty easily, honestly. I do prefer using her with a charging character like Albedo, so she always has her ultimate up. It just helps her a lot, most efficient way to do it. She has solid damage. She's really fun. She looks good. She got like a bow out of hair. I don't know. It looks really cool. Fun. I think most catalysts are fun to use. That could just be me, though. All right. Now let's get to this. It's going to be a little more controversial from here on out. Now we're getting to the big guns, the S tier. These characters are among the best and can usually do great damage and are solid all-arounders, where the most controversy will be, you know, in the S tier. Remember, these are my opinions, and if you guys don't like them, just comment down below and tell me I'm dumb. That's fine. Let's get to it. All right, we're gonna start here with Fishel. Fishel is the best zookeeper in the game, right? I like Oz, I like Goba, and I like Baron Bunny, but Oz is the coolest one. Let's be real. Other cool thing about her is similar to those other characters, similar to Youngling, is she just needs to drop Oz and get the hell off the battlefield. She's really just good at doing that. Oz is just really good compared to the other two. On that note, she can do high physical damage if you build her for it, but it's probably not the best way to play her. Dropping off Oz and just kicking butt with other characters is the best way to go. You can build her many different ways, though. Like I said, you can build her for physical damage and she will shine, or you can just build her for Oz and she'll do amazing. Now we have Venti. Pretty low on the list, honestly. He used to be higher, but this is a 2.0 tier list, and in Inazuma, most things have crowd control protection. I don't know what they got. They're just stuck to the ground. Most things don't move, so he's not as good without his CC. At the end of the day, he's still S tier because he's a great swirler and he can buff your team or debuff the enemies. He also has a pet dragon, you know? Let's not forget he has a pet dragon. He can just ride around whenever he wants. That's pretty cool. Let's get to Sucrose now. Sucrose is one of the best supports in the game. She might have the highest damage multipliers. I'm not sure. Not 100% sure. I think she has the highest damage multipliers with her E and her Q. She's also super cute and has some sort of ears, which is cool. She's also really easy to use. You don't need to really have her on the battlefield much. You press E when you're out there, she sucks everyone up, and then you have debuffed. So that's cool. Now we got Kaching. Really hurts me for Kaching to be this low. She's just really simple. I don't know. She's a really simple damage dealer with high numbers and cat ears. She's really effective at what she does, which is just hit things really hard, and she does it fast. But that's about it. That's Kaching. Now Jean. Jean is amazing. She has great heals and support plus swirls. She has CC in her swirl, which is really helpful. Less helpful, like I said, in Inazuma, but she can also be a great physical damage dealer. She's one of the most versatile characters in the game, which is why I have her ranked so high. It's something that matters to me is versatility. You can drop her in most team comps, and she's really good. She has healing. She adds attack to your other teammates, and she's just a really solid character in general. Now let's talk about the next character, Saiyu. Saiyu is great in the overworld, in the general playing game without fighting. Saiyu is really good, just makes traveling less unbearable. She can also, in battle, move really fast and apply swirl and heal, which is very important. She's also really good at helping you farm materials, once again, out of battle. In battle, though, her C1 helps her a lot. It helps her ultimate, so she ignores the health situation. She's really good regardless, though. I would prefer her at C1. I think without the C1, I'd probably move her down. But I think with C1, she's really, really good. Like I said, the swirl, the heal, and the damage. She's just a really solid unit. All right, next up, we got Yoimiya. I do rate Yoimiya really high. I'm not sure where other people have rated her. That was one of the more controversial ones, talking to people in Discords. She does amazing single target damage, which is really helpful in Inazuma, which makes sense. It's where she came out. So we'll look at when we leave Inazuma, we'll see if Yoimiya still stands the test of time. She's really good against the bosses in Inazuma as well, like the Electro Oceanid and Signora. She's just really good against those guys. She's a really cool look, and her personality, I mean, she's super likable character, and her playability, she is super solid. She benefits from really most support units in the game, which is something that's kind of rare. I've used her with, I want to say, just about every support in the game, and I like it. I really wanted to test this character out because a lot of people were talking about how bad she would be. I haven't seen a problem so far, though. I think it's just one of those characters you can slot in wherever you want, and she will shine. All right, next is Diona. Almost the best shielder in the game. She also has cat ears. That's pretty cool. With Sacrificial Bow, I think Diona is this high. Without the Sacrificial Bow, I actually put her at the bottom of S tier. I don't know what you should be running on her, but I've always liked the Sacrificial Bow. She's really good at applying shields and charging ults for other characters. Honestly, I just feel like a lot of people ignore this character, so I wanted to put her high on the list. I use Diona all the time. I think her ultimate is really, really good. The Elemental Mastery buff on it is really solid. I think Diona is just really good. The shielding itself, and I know her overall damage output is super low, but that's not what she's about, and her shields take like 1 second to apply. So honestly, if you guys haven't tried out Diona, I'm a huge fan of her, and you guys should try her out. Next is the last two characters here. I think the last two characters could have been S plus or SS, whatever the tier above S is, but we're gonna stick with it in S for now. Lee is an insane damage dealer. She's really frail, but her damage is nuts. She's hard to use at her peak potential because a lot of people have the animation cancels down to a T with her. I don't bother with that stuff, and I think she still hits like a truck, honestly. She can also shine in a variety of team comps. And Vaporize are really strong in the game, so with Klee, she's able to really output some damage, and you don't need to worry about these animation cancels too much. If you want to learn them, you can move her up to SS most likely. Another controversial one for lowness in regular S tier will be Shinchu. I don't use Shinchu versus ice enemies if there's one bad thing you want to say about him, because you'll just be frozen all the time. But he's really strong. He's the best support to set up most pyro characters. You'll just be adding Vaporize to everything. You can apply Hydro while not on the field is why he's so good at it. You just push out your swords and you switch characters. He also reduces damage by like 20, maybe 30%. And a lot of people have his constellations by now, which is really good for him. And he also has a healing bonus damage reduction. So, I mean, it's pretty solid, and he's just really the bulk of his support comes from being able to apply the water so easily. All right. Now we're talking about the big hitters, the carries, the SS tier characters. These characters carry easily, and they can wipe most content without much of a struggle. Let's get into the first one. I got Child. Actually, Child is the last 5-star unit I've pulled. I had to wait for his rerun. Child does incredible hydro damage, and he applies wet to everything, which helps every pyro and cryo user. But on his own, he can do the damage without needing help from other characters. That's why I rate him higher than Shinchu. I know he doesn't have the heal, the damage reduction, but he's able to do so much damage output on his own that I think he's great. He applies so much elemental work on his own. It's just amazing. Next, we got Eula. Personally, I enjoy Eula more than some of the characters that are ranked above her, but this is where we've landed with her, so we're just gonna leave her here. It's not a bad ranking overall. She does amazing damage, possibly the highest damage nuke in the game. I'm not sure, but it is the most satisfying damage nuke in the game, that's for sure. Also, doesn't really take much to set her up. Her base attack does a ton of damage if you just want to spam that. Press E every once in a while. You can even do the hold E, it doesn't matter. She just does really good damage. She's really simple to use also. Next, we got Hu Tao. Hu Tao's insane. Insane. She might actually have the highest damage output during her E ability. With support, she can nuke anything in the game. Without support, I would say she still tears. She provides probably the best damage output now that I think about it a little better. She has some really cool looking anime eyes. That's a plus. But yeah, like I said, during that phase, she's a beast. She does have a big downtime not in the phase, which is something worth mentioning. You have to plan accordingly and run her with a solid team, so you have something to do during that downtime. This next character is a little controversial. It's gonna be Ganyu. Ganyu is an amazing old unit. First character that convinced me to spend money in the game. She's incredible, and I'm honestly glad I spent money that first time around because everyone was calling her Cryo Amber back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that, but people hated her. I don't know what was going on. Everybody hated her. And I just remember reading about like all of her stuff, and I thought she was gonna be amazing. So I pulled for her. I actually got 2 of her in my first like 10 pulls that I did. Best luck I've had in this game so far. Everybody calling her Cryo Amber could not have been more wrong though. This character does insane damage, and she also can have 100% uptime on that cryo shower she does, which is just nutty. She's always applying ice. If you wanted to run her like that, you probably could. But her charged shot does so much damage. Also has a taunt, which is really helpful. Next up are the 4 current gods of Genshin Impact. These are, in my opinion, the best and most well-rounded. Most people think these characters are broken, or at least I do anyway. I think these are just the nutty characters. They are the nuts. First up is Ayaka. This is the one that I was not 100% sure on. A lot of people were telling me Ganyu is better than Ayaka, but I don't know. So I think Ayaka is better. It's my list, so F you guys. Ayaka is the best cryo user in the game right now, I think. Her ultimate is insane and maybe the best in the game. She also has huge damage potential, which is not hard to achieve. Just not hard to build in general. I mean, a high crit damage build is solid for her. You can pair her with a water or a fire character. You'll do solid damage altogether. It's also worth noting that up here we have 3 cryo users. This is just, like I said earlier, a very competitive part of the game is cryo. It's just, there's so many cryo characters. Now, we got Bennett next. Bennett is easily the best support in the game. Well, healing support in the game, I guess I'll say. He has huge additions to team damage, and he can heal up to 70% during his ult. It doesn't go past 70%, but it's all you really need. He does all that without being on the field also. His ult is easy to charge. You just build him with energy recharge, so you don't have to have him on the field. And you can spam his ult quite often, honestly. It's super simple to use. You just use his Q, have other characters stand in it. Very nice. Next is Zhang Lee. Zhang Lee is the best shield applier in the game. His shield can be nuts. It can absorb so much damage. He can be built for damage, but at the end of the day, he's best served in the support role as a shield unit. It does make him more versatile that he can deal damage, but you shouldn't really build him for it too often. He also has a really cool nuke with his meteor, which is his Q ability, which is just awesome. Now the last unit, the best unit in the game in my eyes. We got Kazuha. Kazuha has the best damage in the game with his swirl. His CC is much better than any other characters in this game. And Kazuha's outright damage himself is not the highest. It's just that he's able to mix all the elements and do more damage. He can round any team comp you already have and just make it better straight up. He's an easy to insert character straight up. I really simp for this character. He is so good. He works with anyone, honestly. He's the best character in the world, the overworld also, because he can double jump, which is insane. And I believe his other ability is his sprint. I think he can sprint longer than other characters. Also, if you've seen what he did against the Raiden Shogun, using 2 of those little thingies there, that was also really freaking cool. Take it what you will, but he might have 2 of those. I know he gave it away, but whatever. That's it for my tier list, guys. Tell me what you think down below in the comments. If you agree or disagree with my placements of these characters, let me know and we can discuss it. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more Genshin Impact content. You can catch me on my Twitch or Twitter. Links are in the bio. Thank you all for listening and have a great day.